Hello everyone, so in this video I will be talking about and reviewing the newest, baddest, and the beast of a roller coaster at Hersheypark, Wildcat's Revenge. Oh my goodness, if you have not ridden this ride yet, this ride will blow you out of the water even if you have been on other RMCs. Now with me saying that, yes, this is an average RMC, but that doesn't mean like it's bad or mid or anything. It's a really good ride, but you'll get what you expect on an RMC, if that makes sense. So it is average, but it is a really good roller coaster, and it ranks very high, and that's all I'm going to say. It ranks very high out of the 141 credits I have. So let's do a layout breakdown first, because I'm not going to do stats anymore. I mean, you all know it's 140 feet tall, 60 whatever miles an hour, so yeah, we get that, right? So, all right, so you go through this pre-lift section, which is basically just a triple down, right? So you don't really get airtime. It's more of just, you just kind of move around a lot. It's kind of a good fun. It's a good startup for a ride. You go really fast through it too, especially if you're sitting in the back row. You're gonna get whipped through this triple down. It's really nice. You're gonna go into a high bank turn into the 140-foot tall lift hill, and this is gonna bounce and all that fun. That chain is definitely gonna need replacing within the next couple of weeks because it is not lasting. Once you crest the top of the lift hill, you will go down your 140-foot tall drop. Now, the drop is better in the back row. You get a lot of air time on this ride, and the good thing about this ride, the lap bars do not come down, so you do not have to worry about holding this restraint up or anything at the bottom of that first drop, because it will not go down. So if you get airtime room in the station, you will keep that airtime room throughout the entire ride, which is something I love about this roller coaster. The first element you will be encountering is the world's largest underflip. And if you don't know what an underflip is, it's basically an upwards barrel roll, zero-G roll, whatever you want to call it. But it doesn't complete a 360-degree turn. It basically, I think it's it completes around a 270. So you basically come out of a turn as you're going into a turn as you're coming out of the roll, okay? Okay, there we go. That's what an underflip is. And they market this as the world's tallest or the world's largest underflip, which is cool, but that's it? You couldn't have done the first hybrid coaster in Pennsylvania? No? Okay. Alright, fine. That's alright. Because after this, we have a really good airtime hill. It's an ejector airtime hill, very small, very sustained too. In the front row, you're really going to feel that pop of airtime. And then after this, you're going to go into this little trick track outer bank thing into the first of two wave turns, which you do get sideways airtime on. It's very fast, even though the airtime hill, when you're not on ride, looks really large, but when you're on it, it goes by pretty quickly. It kind of catches you off guard. After this wave turn, you will go into a 0G stall, and the whip out of the 0G stall is something I was not prepared for. This thing goes fast. That's something I really want to highlight about this ride, is that this has the best pacing I think I've ever seen on any roller coaster I've ever been on. So you know how the max speed is 62 miles an hour? No, the only speed is 62 miles an hour. It feels like you keep that 60-mile-an-hour pace throughout the entire ride, from when you come out in the first drop to when you hit the final brake run, and we'll get to that soon, because the brake run is, it definitely hits hard. Coming out of the stall is the second wave turn, and this is my favorite part of the ride, because the ejector pop you got in this wave turn is probably the second best on this ride, but it's sideways. It's just really cool, really fast too. And then after this wave turn, you go into a really unique element. It's kind of like a double down, kind of not, but it kind of jerks it to the left a little bit, so you get a lot of laterals coming out of it. And if you're not ready for it, it's gonna jerk you a lot. So be prepared for that element. And then after that, you go into a reverse downhill roll. It's actually just a 0G roll. And this roll is super fast. I cannot explain to you guys how fast this thing just rips right through it. And when you get on it, you understand what I mean. It's not like Steel Vengeance on its final lap when it rips through. No, this is way crazier, okay? I don't know how to explain it. After this roll, you will go into kind of helix, where if you've been riding the roller coaster all day, kind of like I did one time, you might start to gray out, but if this is your first time riding or something, you're not going to really gray out. But this is a positive G-filled section with an overbank, low turns, and then you go into another 0G roll, which is, your average RMC 0G roll. And then after this, you get a little airtime pop, you turn to your right, then you have a little an off-axis airtime hill that gives the best moment of airtime on the ride. turn to the right into the brake run, but as you hit the brake run, the train or the track jerks you back to the left again. So if you're sitting, or it doesn't even matter where you're sitting, especially on the right side though, you will hit that wall. So be prepared for that brake run, because one, it decelerates quickly, but two, you jerk into that brake run. But guys, it is a really, really cool feeling. So yes, this ride is pretty elite. It's better than Twisted Timbers in my opinion. It kind of stacks up with like Lightning Rod and stuff. Like that's how good this ride really is. I don't know what Joe Drapes is doing different than Shilky, but let me tell you, he's doing it. So yeah, there's the layout breakdown. Other things I'd like to just include in this little review before I, sign off is the locker system, because this is a dual load station, so you will enter on one side and exit on the other side. So all of your belongings will have to go in these lockers, but they are big enough to fit bags and anything else that is a little smaller than a bag, and they are complementary. And the cool thing about these lockers is that they're double-sided, so you will put your items in one side of the locker, and then when you exit on the other side of the station, you will take your items from the other side of the locker too. It is a really cool system, and yeah, a lot of more parks should be doing dual unload stations. But yeah, that is really all I got for you guys today. Wildcat's Revenge is a hit for Hersheypark, a really good decision for them, and I give it a 10 out of 10. Alright, that's all I got for you guys today, and I will see you all later. Bye!